The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Narumon Pansamro. Chapter 4. Tom is ill. Monday morning found Tom Sawyer miserable. Monday morning always found him so, because it began another week's slow suffering in school. Tom lay in bed thinking he wished that he was ill, then he could stay away from school. He thought that he could detect signs of stomach aches and began to encourage them with considerable hope. But they soon grew faint and died away. He considered further. Suddenly he discovered something. One of his upper teeth was loose. This was lucky. He was about to groan when it occurred to him that if he says to his aunt would pull it out, and that would hurt. Then he remembered hearing the doctor speak about a patient who had spent 2 or 3 weeks in bed and who had nearly lost a finger through blood poisoning. So the boy eagerly drew his sword from under the sheet and held it up for inspection. Then he began groaning loudly, but she slept on under caution. Tom grew louder and fancied that he began to feel pain in the toe. There was no reason for this. By this time, Tom was breathing heavily with these efforts. He had a red and then swelled himself up and product on admirable groan after another. She slept on. Tom was annoyed. He called, "Sit, sit," and shook him. This worked well, and Tom began to groan again. She yawned straight and then began to stare at Tom. Tom went on groaning. "Tom, I say, Tom, say this." There was a reply. "Here, Tom, Tom, what's its matter, Tom?" She chose him and looked in his face actually. "Oh, don't sit. Don't shake me," Tom moaned. "Why? What's the matter, Tom? I must call Auntie." "No, never mind. I will be over soon." "Perhaps don't call anybody." "But I must. Don't groan so, Tom. It's awful. How long have you been like this?" "Ow, ow, oh, don't shake me, sis. You will kill me." "Tom, why didn't you wake me sooner?" "Oh, Tom, don't. It makes me feel queer to hear you." "What's the matter, Tom?" "I forgive you everything," sis groaned. "Everything you have ever done to me when I died." "Oh, Tom, you aren't dying, are you?" "Don't, Tom. Oh, don't. Perhaps." "I forgive everybody," sis groaned. "Tell them so, and sis gives me window frame and my cat with one eye to that new girl who has come to town, and tell her." But sis had snatched up his clothes and gone. So well was Tom, imagination working that he was really suffering now. His scorn has quite a genuine tone. She flew downstairs. "Oh, Aunt Polly, come! Tom dying?" he cried. "Dying?" "Yes. Don't wait. Come quickly." "Robbie? I don't believe it." But she brushed Armstrong, in spite of her disbelief, with Sis and Mary at her heels, and her face grew white too, and her lip trembled. When he reached the bed, she glanced out. "Tom, what is the matter with you?" "Oh, Aunt my, what's the matter with you? What is the matter with you, child?" "Oh, Aunt, my big toe's dead." The old lady sank down into a chair, and laughed a little, and cried a little, and this both together. This helped her to recover, and she said, "The crosses and the paint vanished from the toe." The boy felt a little foolish, and he said, "Aunt Polly, it's the same to be dead, and it hurts so much that I did not feel the pain in my tooth at all." "Your tooth? What's the matter with your tooth?" "One of them is loose, and it's as awfully." There, don't begin. That's groaning again. Open my mouth. Well, your tooth is loose, but you're not going to die of that. Mary gets me a silk thread, and red hot cold from the chicken. Please, Aunt, don't pull it out. It doesn't hurt anymore. Please, Aunt, I don't want to stay away from school." "Oh, you don't you? So all this howling was because you thought you managed you stay away from school, and you fishing." Tom, I love you so, and you seem to try every way you can. You break my old heart with your trick." By this time, the instruments were ready. The old lady made one end of the silk thread fast to Tom's tooth, and tied the other to the bedpost. Then she seized the burning coal, and suddenly thrust it almost in the boy's face. The tooth hung from the bedpost now. All suffering have their reward. As Tom was going to school after breakfast, he was the envy from every boy he met, because the gap in this upper row of teeth enabled him to speak in a new and admirable way. Soon afterward, Tom met the young outcast of the village, Huckleberry Finn, the son of the town drunkards. Huckleberry was hated and dreaded by all the mothers of the town because he was diligent, lostless, ill-bred, and bad, and because all their children admired him, delighted in his forbidden society, and wished they to be like him. Like the rest of the respectable boys, Tom envied Huckleberry this great life of freedom, and has been given strict order or not to play with him. So he played with him every time he got a chance. Huckleberry was always dressed like a squirrel. He came and went of his own free will. He slept on doorstep, in fine weather, and in empty, barren in wind. He did not have to go to school or to church or call anyone master or both anybody. He could go finish or swimming when and where he chose, and stay as long as it suited him. Nobody forced him to fight. He could sit up as late as he pleased. He was always the first boy to walk barefooted in the spring, and the last to wear shoes again in the autumn. He never had to wash or put on clean clothes. He could swear wonderfully. In a word, that boy has everything that's helped to make life delightful. So, thought every replaceable boy in St. Petersburg. Hello, Huckleberry? What's that you got? Asked Tom. Hello, that cat. Let me see it. Huck. How stop it? What's that cat good for, Huck? For curing what? But how do you kill them? Why you take the cat about midnight to a graveyard where somebody that was wicked has been buried. When it's midnight, a devil will come, or perhaps two or three, but you can't see them. You can only hear something like the wind, or perhaps hear them talking. When they're talking, that will yellow away. You throw your cat after them and say, "Devil, follow body. Cats, follow devil. Wolves, follow cats. I have finished with you. That will cure any what." It sounds alright. Have you ever tried it, Huck? No, but old Mother Hopkins told me. Well, that's good enough, because they say she a witch. Huck, when are you going to try the cat? Tonight, I believe they'll come after all. Hot William tonight. But he was buried on Saturday. Huck, didn't they get him on Saturday night? Why, how you talk? How could they shower before midnight? And then it's Sunday. Devil don't scream about much on a Sunday. As far as I know, I never thought of that. That's so. Will you let me go with you? Of course, if you're not afraid. Afraid? Not slightly. Will you meow like a cat? I won't. I couldn't meow that night because Aunt was watching me. But I will meow this time. The boy's favorite. When Tom reached the little school, he marched boldly in as if he had come as fast as he could. His teacher was nodding amidst the hums of study. The interruption roused him. Tom knew that when his name was pronounced in full, it meant trouble. "Sir, come here. Now, why are you late again?" As usual. Tom was about to lie when he saw two long tails of yellow hair hanging down from a head that he recognized, and by that head was the only unconscious on the girl side of the school. He instantly said, "I stopped to talk with Huckleberry Finn." The teacher stared at him as if he could not believe his ear. The hum of study ceased. The pupil Wonder what this boy has gone mad, the teacher said. You did what? I stopped to talk with Huckleberry's Finn. The boy was very quiet, distinct, and could not be misunderstood. Tom Sawyer, this is the most undoubting confession I have ever listened to. You deserve a severe punishment. Take off your coat. This trick rose and fell until the teacher's arm was tired. Then the other followed. Now, sis, go and sit with the girls, and let this be a warning to you. When all the pupils laughed, Tom seemed to look ashamed, but in reality that look was caused by his worship of the unknown angel and by this amazement at this luck. He sat down upon the end of the bench, and the girl proudly moved away from him. Tom sat still and seemed to study his book. Soon the other children ceased to pay any attention to him, and the accustomed school murmur rose upon the dance air once more. Present the boy began to steal glance at the girl. She answered him, pulled a face at him, and turned the back of her head to him for a minute. When she cautiously looked round again, he was drawing something at the back of his book, hiding his work with his left hand. For some time the girl refused to notice, but at last she hesitatingly whispered, "Let me see it." Tom uncovered a big drawing of a house with a cloud of smoke coming from the chimney. Then he asked a man like a mask in the front yard. The girl said, "Wish I could draw." "It's easy," whispered Tom. "I will teach you." "Oh, will you? When?" "At dinner time." "Good. That's a promise. What's your name?" "Becky Shutter." "What's your?" "Oh, I know. It's Thomas Sawyer." "That's the name they use when they beat me. I'm Tom when I'm good. Call me Tom." "Will you?" "Yes." Just at this moment a finger and thumb closed on his ear, and raised him to his feet. He was led across the schoolroom, and sit down in his own seat, amid the laughter of the whole school. Then the teacher stood over him during a few or 4 moments, and finally moved away to his chair without saying a word. But although Tom ear burner, his heart was sinking.